New Jersey Motorsports Park turned up the heat on NARRA's Whelen US Time Trial and USGT Championships for rounds 7 and 8, June 8 through 10. And it wasn't just the weather, both series providing plenty of action, drama, heartache and elation. The Whelen US Time Trial field oversubscribed with a huge influx of time attack drivers, organisers choosing to limit entries to keep the track density low. New competitors also graced the USGT Championship, including plenty of Northeast natives. However, it was regular racer Mike Hartley, a New Jersey local, who showed his hospitality via sponsor Designs Construction, welcoming teams with a Friday night feast. Speaking of GT, Jim Booth turned up with new equipment, a 458 Ferrari Challenge.
So I had to get a backup car because I've been having some mechanical issues with my Comp Coupe. And so we've been able to do very well on Saturday. We've won the races that I've raced the Comp Coupe in, but then you can't race it on Sunday because it's a, I had a clutch, I had a piston go bad, and so I decided to get a backup car. The Viper is like riding a bunking Bronco. This Ferrari's like dancing with the ballerina.
We'll take another look at that machine later, when Kelly explains NARRA's simple rules. Tongues were also wagging about who won the other big race of the weekend. With plenty of races and races at heart on NARRA's staff, it was time to settle a score once and for all. Who was the fastest of them all? The action immediate with Barrington and JD Ash into the dirt. Everyone was racing hard. Myself and Morrison having an epic battle. Back and forth, getting physical, and using more than the racetrack. As for who won, we'll get to that later. The real competition didn't disappoint either. Reverting to Plan A, Booth chose to run his formidable blue McDonald's Viper in the USGT Championship and put it on pole, but only just from Jim Stout. Hartley starting third with less than a tenth covering Stokey, Loudon and Moore in qualifying. The surprise Atlanta winner, George Whelan, down the order. While the frontrunners held station during turn 1, Stokey and Whelan in the dust past Loudon, who repaid the favour. Al Sayed reacting to the commotion, dropping 2 places. Stokey losing out to Loudon and Whelan. Al Sayed dropping a place to McIntosh, who rocketed up through the field from 13th to be 9th by the end of lap 1. Whelan also charged hard, picking off Loudon, Stokey and Solberger over the next few laps. But he would never quite catch Hartley. And after setting the fastest lap early on, disaster struck for Booth.
I started smoking partway through the race there, and I dropped. I was running 126, 127s, and then all of a sudden run 128. So, and the one time he got a run on me, and I thought I had hit my reference points, my braking points, and all of a sudden he's down beside me going into 1.
A lap later, Lady Luck turned on Whelan.
We had an issue with the rear master cylinder. Brakes just gave out going into turn 1 and just didn't really come back at all. So.
Meanwhile, Stokey put Loudon between himself and David Moore, who was also under pressure from McIntosh. McIntosh making it stick on lap 5. But a few laps later, Moore repaid the favour, and while in a different class, began battling Loudon, something he would regret on Sunday.
That was a lot of fun with Steve. We were really mixing it up well, and learned an awful lot of racecraft following behind him and trying to get around him, and he didn't make it easy to let me past him, and I don't think I made it easy for him to hold his position, so it was a lot of fun. NARRA, this is a great place for us to come out and play. It really is. Thanks.
Further back, it was a battle between David and David. Greenman passing Ricky, turning his first USGT appearance into a win. The Nissan of Boccanelli, home third in GT3. Loudon the GT2 winner from a hard-charging McIntosh. A convincing win too for Stokey in GT1. While in GTU, hometown hero Hartley held station the entire race.
Well, didn't have much for them too. The car was acting up. Thought the two of them battling out there we'd be able to get a run, but we're getting a little misfire going on and the car's stuttering, but we gave it the best we could, so we'll take third.
Making it 2 wins in a row over Booth. For Stout, it was business as usual.
I knew I could catch up with him, so I was trying to conserve the car, the temperature, and wait my shot, and I got my shot going into 1, and once I took it, I got down to business.
Supporting the USGT and Whelen TimeTrial Championships in New Jersey, Formula 1000 Championship Series, marking the first time a NARRA event has ever hosted open-wheeler racing. Brandon Dixon, the winner of Saturday's race, while Bill McLaughlin broke through for his first win on Sunday. Marks lined up for the Whelen US Time Trial Championship on Saturday, with plenty of entries from the Real-Time Attack and Hero Circuit Club ranks. All eyes were on last year's victor, current USTTC lap record holder Philip Grabow. But as he wound up the wick, his engine whimpered.
Seems to be the second event in a row where we've cracked a block on the motor. Not sure what's going on. It's something that we haven't had issues with for years, and then just all of a sudden we seem to have it. 2 brand new blocks in a row are failing. It's real disappointing to show up and not even do 1 lap and have that happen.
Topping the charts and TT Unlimited in Session 1, the boy with the new toy.
I got the car a week ago when I was anxious to get it to a track. I obviously can't go out and test it on the street, so I brought it here just to see what it would do. And I was quite impressed with the car. It's just so nimble, so agile, so easy to drive.
Also quick out of the box was TT1's Richard Starter.
At the first session would probably be where we could get it, so we hammered it down there and it proved to be correct.
And while Katz was quicker in every other session, an error had cost him.
Yeah, the first session I made a critical error. I went out on the Pilot Sport Cup tires that the car comes with stock, which are great tires, but they don't hold up to the Hoosiers on the track. So we got our times on the first session, while I should have put the Hoosiers on for the first session while the track was nice and cold.
Frank Hart completing the podium in TT1, while Jake Parrott put his Camaro second in Unlimited, with Alan Cohen giving Cadillac its first Whelen USTTC podium. A staggering 14 cars were entered in the TT3 field, and straight to the top, Ben Lesnak, who also highlighted the need to get it done early.
The track's in good condition for these early runs, and it's getting really hot in the afternoon. Times drop off.
After putting in a time to be second in class, fellow vet driver Scott Mandel pushed a little too hard. The first competitor to throw down the gauntlet in TT2, Diep. Also the fastest of an onslaught of 6 Mitsubishi Evolutions competing in New Jersey. Responding in the second session, Mark Forenbauer, but it wouldn't be enough. Diep extracting even more in session 3.
It was pretty much learning the new tires. I had these new Hoosiers on my car, and I was pretty much trying to learn how to drive the car on the Hoosiers. There was a lot more grip.
But a new contestant had entered the ring. Peter McIntosh deciding to do double duty and blitzing them both. Diep relishing the challenge.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I like to see, different cars, different platforms out there, and try to keep up with them, It's a great event. I mean, these guys put up a really good event. I mean, I run with a lot of other clubs, but these guys are top-notch. We enjoy running with them.
Ray Cocosiello never giving up either. His GTR, 4th fastest in TT2. Also finding plenty of pace in the final run, 6 TT3 drivers, including Grabow, who was back in Element Tuning's stock Scion.
Yeah, we decided to make lemonade out of lemons, and we brought our 2013 Scion FRS out here, and we're just making the best of it. We thought we would have fun. We're going to develop this car and turn it into a potent time attack car, so why not go ahead and test it stock and see how it does. We just threw some of the race tires on it, and it's running real quick, actually.
Christian Staniszewski, Tim Brownawell, and third-placed Edgar Cabrera also finished the day with their fastest time. But no one would touch the morning pace of Mandel or Lesnak, who was hungry for the win.
Focus on the class win because of tire contingency. It's a really wonderful thing to have. The participation of Hoosier to come out and offer that up to the winners. So I'm not so concerned with overall times, and especially on a hot day like this, it's just good to be fast relative to everybody else.
And given the diversity of the Whelen USTTC field, we thought we'd delve into what's a better mousetrap. This is what the Whelen US TimeTrial Championship is all about. High horsepower cars of all makes and models. We've got the Corvette, a large displacement engine, rear-wheel drive, American muscle car, versus the Mitsubishi's 4-cylinder all-wheel drive and turbocharged configuration. So we asked each driver what their competitors' strengths and weaknesses were.
This track has some very fast turns and some tighter sections. We're running the chicane today, and an Evo is definitely going to have an edge coming out. It's a tight turn under a lot of throttle, and the Corvette likes to get a little sideways there.
The strengths of the Evo over a Corvette are definitely coming out of a corner. I have the advantage of all-wheel drive, so I'm trying to get on the gas as soon as possible and maximize my straight line speed.
It can really take off where the Corvette is kind of struggling for traction in places. The Corvette's got its strengths as well. With it's relatively easy to drive, relatively fast, just about everywhere on the track. So it's simpler. It's a little easier. You give up a little in certain spots on the track, but it's been a winner today.
I think it's more about the modifications that I have done to the car. It's a very basic setup. This is my street car that I took out here to time trial. It's got only a coilover suspension and some tires. And it's my first time trial. I'm out here. I'm keeping up with some of the big dogs, and I'm having a good time doing it.
So no matter what your weapon, get out here and join the Whelen US Time Trial Championship. Sunday morning, and the Whelen US Time Trial Championships, Steve Katz, full of optimism.
You know, my car is basically it's a stock car. I've never adjusted the suspension or anything. So today I may make a couple little tweaks to it. Hopefully get a little bit more speed out of the car.
While Saturday's winner, Starter, seemed more reserved.
Is there a second there? Absolutely. Do I have that second in me to get it? We'll see.
Their moods reflected on the track. Katz a full second faster in the first session. Starter bounced back in run 2, but he missed out by a 10th to give Katz his maiden win of the year. The new day also bringing new competitors, including Craig Nugent, his Truck Series Ford F-150 home third in TT1. Another fresh face making an impact, Kurt Hissong, knocking Booth off the top step of the Unlimited podium with his 10th lap of the day. Although Booth's Saturday best remained the weekend's fastest time trial lap. Also recording his best in the morning run, Parrott to take third in class before stopping on course. In TT2, the Kaizen car turned up the heat. Scott McIver over 4 seconds faster from Saturday.
We had a CV boot issue in the car, and we broke the exhaust manifold, but we kept the car together long enough to put out a pretty decent time today.
Decent indeed, relegating Diep to third in class.
I knew coming in today that the first session would probably be the fastest session, and I tried to put down everything I had there. I did some changes on the second session, and that basically didn't work. Third session, try to go out and do the same thing as I did in the first session. The track's not there.
But in a repeat of yesterday, McIntosh, who had missed the first sessions to concentrate on his USGT effort, did just enough to stay on top.
Had a good run out there, got a couple clean laps, held back at the beginning, and let everybody get a good run. They got in some good times, and I just happened to squeak out a nice one.
The times also close in TT3. Cars separated by just tenths right down the order all day. Stanzanu pipped the Nissan of Brownawell for 6th. Cantor responding to Coco's yellows, GTR to take 4th. And Mandel retaliating in session 3 to again take the second step of the podium away from the BMW of Cabrera.
Edgar was beating me by 0.03 of a second coming into this last session, and I was able to find a 1/10.5, and I really locked up second place. Very happy.
Unstoppable again, though, Lesnak, who was already looking forward to his next event.
Definitely, I'll be out for at least 2 more. We'll see maybe a third, so we'll see how it goes. But had a great time and looking forward to more weekends with NARRA.
We're here at New Jersey Motorsports Park in the tech shed. We're actually checking on our GT and our TT teams. We have 4 classes. The Unlimited is going to be no holds barred, anything goes. Then we also have 1, 2, and 3 that are based on a simple power to weight ratio. We have the cars come in and we weigh the car with the driver in it, and then we divide that by the horsepower that the car makes to the wheel. Drivers have to bring in a dyno affidavit stating how much horsepower their car actually makes, and we plug that into our simple calculator to actually determine the class that they fall into. It's really simple rules. You can have anything like this factory Ferrari behind me to your custom home-built Corvette running in this. Any car can race with NARRA as long as they're fast enough to fit into one of our 4 classes. You won't see any Miatas out here unless they've got a big V8 or a turbo underneath that hood. We also do spot checks with mobile dyno jets and GPS tracking while they're on the track to make sure all of our drivers are staying honest.
As Jim Stout again found the 23s in qualifying for Sunday's USGT race, Booth struggled for pace.
We're burning about a quart of oil a session, so it's down on power.
Whelen then slotted into second, pressuring Booth to respond, but he fell just 2 100ths short to remain third. The big standout, Loudon, out-qualifying the faster GT1 cars. He was then promoted to fourth, when Hartley failed to fix his engine gremlin.
I actually found another half a second during qualifying this morning, so that was pretty remarkable that I got that fast. I'm really, really pleased. A lot of it has to do with the setup that Archer Racing does, and also my coach, Tom Drewer. That all helps.
The effort helping to set up one of the most action-packed USGT races ever. As the flag flew, Booth followed Stout through turn 1. Behind him, Greenman with a great start, past Ricky, past McIntosh, then narrowly avoiding El Sayed, who spun all by himself, allowing Ricky back past. A lap later, McIntosh took over second in GT2 from Kathy Stout, the pair having the time of their lives.
It was awesome. I finished third, but it was the best third I've ever finished. We had a heck of a race and a good fight, and it was a lot of fun.
We were all playing nice and clean, but all fighting for every inch we could get.
Not to be outdone, the top 3 went at it. Whelen making it stick past Booth. A lap later, an identical move put Whelen into the lead, but Stout wasn't going to give up and retook it through the chicane. The next time, into turn 1, Whelan's late braking took its toll. Booth slipping past.
Turn 1 was like the only place I could really find to pass. It's a real tight track. There's not a lot of good opportunities, so ended up burning up the brakes going into 1. So I don't know. I guess next time I just got to be a little bit easier on the brakes, not burn them out so quick.
Traffic then giving Booth an opportunity, but the pressure from Stout relentless, and it paid off. Meanwhile, Loudon held a small gap to Moore. Also right there, Stokey, the trio, catching Boccanelli coming onto the straight, allowing Moore to make a run. He momentarily cleared Loudon, but in the braking zone, the pair went for the same piece of track. Stokey, an unfortunate bystander, out, along with Moore, and bringing out a full course yellow.
It was a boat race to turn 1, and then then it went south.
Found to be at fault with NARRA's "you caused it, you pay for it" policy, Loudon was forced to pay the maximum $2,500 penalty to Moore. We've also heard since he bought and sent parts to Stokey. Typical of the sportsmanship here in the NARRA paddock. The restart reigniting the action.
George got a great run us on the outside. Jim damn near parked it down there in turn 1, and I had no place to go. I was hemmed in on the inside on that with a lap to go.
Whelen then trying every which way to get past, but prevailing again, Stout to take the win.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest fought races I've had in some time. I thought I'd have an easier day too. That's why I had an extra cocktail last night to celebrate, but they really gave me a hassle today. But I would like to thank my aero engine builder, my Oakley glasses, and most of all, always forget my crew. I have a very good handling car and very consistent car, and the crew does that, and I want to thank them for that too.
Given the class championships are determined by a driver's best 6 race results, plus the final at Watkins Glen, Stout's results have put him right back into contention. A bittersweet victory for Moore in GT1. As it was for Loudon, who was also docked points for his clash. While in GT3, it was Ricky who won his first, fending off Greenman, who tried everything. Greenman may have lost the tussle, but clearly felt like a winner, summing up the weekend.
The action has been non-stop and flowing. This has been the best race weekend of my career. Fast cars, nice people, and a lot of fun.
Oh, and as for the karting winner, well, you're listening to him. There I go up the inside of the general manager. We'll see you next time at VIR.